Hello and welcome to the Tableau dashboarding tutorial video, and today I'm sharing with you the one more data analysis tutorial within Tableau where I will show you from start to end how you will going to produce a dashboard. And with that I will also show you the objective at the start so that you will know that when you have objective clearly in your mind, then how you can create a meaningful analysis. Also, this will going to be the multi-part analysis where I will show you one video today which is related to Zomato data analysis or Zomato restaurant data, which is an online food ordering company, delivers the food at customer's location. So we will have an objective, create this analysis. Then in the future videos I will also show you by looking at the same data how you can produce more analysis and get more perspectives out of it, so that when you have any data set with you, how you can basically produce more and more analysis. With that, let's get started. Welcome to Zomato restaurant data analysis within Tableau, where we will explore and analyze the restaurants that are on Zomato to better understand from the perspective of dining, location, cuisine type, and ratings. Suppose that you are planning to open a new restaurant which is budget friendly and serving both North and South Indian food. Then from data analysis perspective, some of the question that comes into mind: number one, how many restaurants are available with both these cuisine type? Number two, where these restaurants are currently present in Bangalore? Number three, what is the average cost of dining for two people? Number four, whether these restaurant allows online ordering or not. Number 5, top 10 restaurant with highest rating with location. And number 6, top 10 restaurants with high number of ratings with location. Alright, so let's get started and first look at this data set, which is a Zomato data set, and I will show you where you can find it in my drive. So this data set is coming with couple of columns. First column is unnamed, second column is also unnamed, which is nothing but the serial number. We can remove these columns here, or we can remove it in Tableau and just be done with it. But then you have the columns like restaurant name, where a lot of restaurant names are given. Restaurant type, that means it's a cafe, quick bite, casual dining, takeaway, delivery, so on and so forth. Then it has a rating, how much out of 5, what is a rating that is being given, that is a 5-star rating. And then you have the number of ratings, that means how many people have given the rating. So that is what the last question was, if you remember, highest number of ratings, so that we know, and usually we trust where the highest number of ratings are given. So we can then decide threshold, like we need to trust any restaurant which is 100 ratings or above. Then you have the average cost of two people. This is something which is given to us. Then online order, right? Whether it allows online order or not. Table booking, whether it allows table booking or not. Cuisine type, what kind of cuisine, fast food, beverages, cafe, biryani, mughlai, barbecue. You have North Indian, Arabian, sandwich rolls, European, Asian, continental, and all of those pieces. Finally, in Bangalore, which area it is present, and the local address, which is somehow similar to the area as well, right? But just one level down information that in this area, this is the local address. Okay, so with that information, what we will going to do is produce a dashboard, and I'll show you before showing the data set. Okay, so where is data set? So based on the link which I have given in the description for data set, you will land over here in the data set folder by following that. And then you will come over here within the data set, just one second. Within the data set, you have the data set file over here, which is this one. And here you have the Zomato data analysis. It has my other data set as well. So what I'm doing is I'm just combining everything in one single place. Earlier it was present over here, which was not so very friendly based on your feedback. So I have started arranging this over here. Also, it allows me to save some space because I'm running out of space, as you can see, but then I can use my other login IDs to basically store the data on the Google Drive. So that will be easy for you to access it. Okay, so we have the data. Now where is the dashboard? All right, so the dashboard is present over here. This is the final output of the dashboard. As you can see, Zomato restaurant data analysis for South and North Indian food, because we are planning to open the South or North Indian food in Bangalore. And local area is the filter where you can select multiple values or single values, depends on your need, right? And then we are showing some high level KPI just so that a new person who is, let's say, exploring this data, they will know, okay, on Zomato we have around 7,000 plus restaurant that is currently basically present as a listed restaurant, and that could be somewhat similar to the overall restaurant that you have, right? Because generally what happens is Zomato as a company or its competitor Swiggy basically try to list almost every restaurant. So this should be near to the overall number in Bangalore restaurant. Then how many are serving North Indian food is 3,236, and how many are serving South Indian food is 669. So clearly, you know, there are a lot of restaurants which are serving the North Indian food compared to the South Indian food, which is a little bit surprising because this is the southern, Bengaluru is the southern part of the India. If you are from India, you already know that, but if you are not, then, you know, just for your information, Bengaluru is in southern part of India. One of the reason may be that people are usually used to of eating it because they can cook at home, the South Indian food, but North Indian is something they are not cooking, and probably that's why you have more North Indian restaurants over here. And as you are aware about that Bengaluru is the IT hub or the IT city or IT capital of India, many people from North India are migrating to this part for job and and to earn the livelihood. So that's why probably one of the reason can be that you have more restaurants over there. Then what are the top 10 restaurant based on the location, which is serving North and South Indian food? So North Indian food is highlighted with dark red, and this is with lighter red color, the South Indian food. So first location, the second location, the third location, that way, you know, a person can get an idea, okay, these locations have a lot of restaurants. Now there are two things out of it. Either one can decide, oh, I should not focus over here but focus on some other location, right? Then along with the top 10, you can also show the bottom 10 restaurant, right? Because that can be the new requirement. And that's how we will basically going to iterate over multiple dashboards. So this is my top 10 restaurant, and one can decide either I want a piece out from the top 10 restaurant, because obviously there will be a lot of orders which will be coming, right? And then you have the average cost of 2. So on an average, customers for South Indian food are charging 317 for 2 people, and for North Indian food it is around 600 rupees. So you get a ballpark idea what customers are ready to pay to the existing outlets. So this will give you the costing idea for your food business. Then online orders, how many are basically delivering online orders? And you can see no over here, and over here is no, which is null. We need to exclude that. I don't know why it is coming, but I think we need to exclude that. But for North Indian, this is coming as no, and for South Indian is no, because this is overall no. These are rest of the other restaurants which I need to exclude. Maybe I was doing some experiment and that's why they are coming, because we only want to show North and South Indian. But then who are delivering it? So almost like 50-50 sort of a thing, if you will. This output is showing us, and that's where we can do more analysis from this perspective about online orders, from where they are, where these restaurants are located and stuff like that. And then top 10 restaurants by rating. That way you can figure it out, okay, where people have given the highest rating for North and South Indian food, and you can then definitely go over there. Surprisingly, Asian Kitchen by Mainland China, maybe looks like not just Indian but Other part of the Asian food is basically served over here, but then you have barbecue, you have the Belgian waffle factory, which is again very surprising, but so on and so forth. All of these are coming, and then you have these cafes and all, which is, you know, brewing company and all of that. Top 10 restaurant by high number of ratings, right? So 16,000 rating is given to the here, 9,000 rating, 8,000 rating, so on and so forth. And you can see the North Indian is given over here, but then some of the places null is coming, and I think that's where I will show you how we can basically take care of this piece. So this should not come ideally. It should be only for North and South Indian. It may be related to a similar experiment I was running it over here on the filter side of the things. But this is the final layout that we will going to produce, right? And the first thing is that we will going to import the data. So if you see over here, the sheet 1 is present, and let me first come out of this particular presentation mode. Okay, so I'm out of presentation mode, and where I wanted to go was the data source. As you can see, adding data is very simple. You will find couple of options over here when you open a new one, and what you need to bring in is the text file, right? This is the kind of the bar you will be getting at the start, but since I have already imported, so I'm just moving through, and you need to click on text file and import the Zomato.csv, because CSV file is considered as text file over here. If you will choose Microsoft Excel, this file will not be shown. So text file, right? Once you will import that, this is how somehow the data will look like. You will have the first column, which is unnamed, so F1, and unnamed, restaurant name, restaurant type, rating, number of rating, average cost of 2, order online or not order online, table booking, cuisine type, area, local address, North or South Indian food, right? And this is a calculated column. As you can see, calculation is given over here. So after importing the data, we will quickly check that numbers are represented as numbers. Like over here, hash is showing you that it is a number, hash is showing you it is a number. Same thing over here, ABC is indicating it is a text value. So looks like we are good. Okay, so first thing first is about creating KPIs. So over here, if you see, what I have done is I have simply taken the distinct count of restaurant name. So restaurant name is, if you see, present over here, right? If you will bring it onto a text, it will give you everything, but then you have to go in measure and count this thing. What I meant by that is, let me open up a new sheet over here, and restaurant name, I will just put it over here. This is how it will come. So don't worry. We will come over here in the measure and simply say distinct count 7105, right? So 7105, correct? But then what you also need to do is you need to go in text, right? Over here, if you see, same thing is present here. In the text over here, we can then modify and we can say total restaurants, right? So total restaurant, then entire view, it will come over here. And then in the text alignment, we will make it center. So it will come here in center. And that is what it is happening. Only thing is now you can increase the font size like this. And I will show you the setting over here. So for me, the setting is for total restaurant. This is my 12 Tableau medium, for over here Tableau regular and 10. And this is my layout looks like. Then after that, the same setting, just duplicate it. And this time we need to bring in the North Indian food, and for that we have created a filter called North or South Indian food, right? So this is a calculation over here, if you see North or South Indian, and I will show you this calculation going into the edit. And this is a big but very easy calculation. We are simply saying that there are cuisine type split. And this cuisine type split, how we can create it? Well, it is also a calculation. If you see over here in edit, simply trim split cuisine type, comma, and first occurrence. That means you will have the multiple value in the cuisine type. If I go to data sources, you have one value, you have 2 values, you have 3 values, so on and so forth, right? So what do we do is I just figured it out. The maximum number of values after comma that is present is 7. So what I did is I just splitted it into a way that using the split function cuisine type comma 1, which is the first occurrence, give me the first occurrence. So it becomes 1. For 2, I will simply say 2, second occurrence. After splitting it, give me the second occurrence, right? So on and so forth till the 7th one. Then what I am doing is I am creating this North and South Indian food filter. From that, I am saying that if the cuisine type in the split 1 is North Indian, if it contains North Indian, then North Indian. So I'm doing it 7 times for North Indian food. Then I'm doing it 7 times for the South Indian food, and I'm then getting both these categories under one column, which I can then use it as a filter, right? So I have it North Indian and South Indian. Over here, I just dragged it over there, added filter, simply selected North Indian. It is giving me the North Indian item. Same way for South Indian, added filter, South Indian is present and I am getting it South Indian, right? Also, if you are wondering the sheet color, this is nothing but you can right click anywhere, format. Over here, if you see the shading over here, this is probably one of the shading I have used it over here. It looks like this is the one which I have used. So which is giving me this shading. So now we will move on to the third point, which is the North and South Indian food top 10 restaurant. So simply I have the area which is nothing but this. You drag it area over here. Then you have count D, right? So distinct count of restaurant that we did it in the sheet 1 as well to create the bar chart like this. And then we are bifurcating using the color for North and South Indian, right? So North and South Indian, earlier we were using it as a filter, but now we are using it as a stack bar chart. If you see, where we are indicating the dark red color is for North Indian food, the light color is basically for South Indian food, right? So that's how I'm doing it. But then what we need is the top 10, right? So we will put a filter on area. If you see area, edit filter, top, by field, top 10, restaurant name and distinct count. Straightforward. Very simple and straightforward. But if you are a beginner, I'm sure that you will be finding it a little bit challenging. So you may have to do this exercise. But once you will do it a couple of times, these are very, very simple and straightforward configurations. Okay. Now, next part is finding out the average cost of 2 with the simple pie chart, right? What you do is you select simply the average cost of 2, right? And you select the North and South Indian food, go to show me and click on this. It will create a pie chart. The only thing you need to make sure is you are changing the color over here, which will give this color, which is consistent for North Indian and South Indian food. And then formatting, this rupees is coming, right? And the decimal value is not coming. So the way we do this is based on going into over here field, any field I can take it, maybe this one if you want, I can take it, right? In the pane, make sure this is pane because axis is this axis, X and Y axis. So we need to make sure we are in a pane. Pane is this area, right? And over here we have the numbers. In the number custom, make sure decimal places are 0 and then prefix is rupees, RS. That way I get rupees over here. So this is the setting. You need to click on this field, go to format, in the pane, in the numbers custom, 0 decimal places and rupees, right? Just wanted to repeat this if you are an absolute beginner. Then moving on to the next sheet, which is basically indicating whether online order or not. So over here this blue is coming, which I think is coming because of this filtering thing. I just want to make sure I am unchecking the null. So exclude is enabled. That means exclude null. Click OK. And I get my output, which is for North Indian and South Indian food. So I'll hit the save button. Okay. So this is nothing but very simple. We are bringing the online order food. Online order is present over here. We are bringing it over here. We are bringing the count of restaurant name as we did it earlier, right? Simply selecting the measure count over here, count distinct, and then bifurcating it by North or South Indian food, which is giving us those North and South Indian food which is not delivering online, and then yes is delivering online, and this is the number, right? So very straightforward. Then we move on to the second last visualization, which is the top 10 restaurants by rating out of 5. So what we are bringing is restaurant name over here, we are bringing area over here, then we are bringing this calculation North or South Indian food over here, and then we are bringing finally the rating. Rating is this one. We are bringing it onto the text. As you can see, T is present over here. Now only thing is we have to make sure in the North and South Indian one, the null is not coming, and we'll click OK, and this will only give us the North and South Indian food. The only other thing you need to make sure that this is a context filter. So what happens is it gives you everything. That means the top 10 will give you all the top 10 values irrespective of North or South Indian. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are adding this filter as a context. I have currently added it as a context, but you need to remove the context, right? So context, make sure that the top 10 only select the North and South Indian and not anything else. Okay, so this is what we should get. Similar way, we will going to get top 10 restaurant by number of ratings, right? Same way, I will come over here, edit filter, and I will uncheck the null, and it will go, and we will only get, so top 10 number of restaurant by number of rating is all North Indian food. So this is what you get finally. And then putting into this layout is also very interesting, right? So two things you have as an option over here. Under the dashboard, you have the tiled and floating, right? Based on where you are comfortable, you basically put this image, you can find it online, then you add this as a text box. If you see, this is text box, which is nothing but this text box. Zomato restaurant data analysis, South or North Indian food, Bangalore. Click OK, and then adding a filter over here. Add this filter to any visualization and then add it over here. Just make sure that within this drop down over this, apply to worksheet, just make sure all using this data source so that all the visualizations are impacted by this. Okay. Now, once you have done that, it's all about configuring these visualization. Again, where you are most comfortable, tiled or floating. I have explained many times in my videos about how to do that. Especially in the tiled layout, because it is slightly complex and it's difficult to do it. But if you are a beginner and you want to do that, you can bring the floating as well, which is not an issue. You can practice with this. But as you move on to the expertise, I recommend you use the tiled layout. So tiled layout works with the horizontal container and vertical container over here, and that way you can basically produce the output by bringing each of these individual sheets. So sheet 1, this is sheet 2, this is sheet 3, this is sheet number over here 4, this is sheet number 5, sheet number 6, 7, 8, and finally we produce the output, right? So look at this output, produce this. I will give some reference links and a playlist where previously I have shown how you can configure it in multiple videos, right? You can take a reference from that, but if you are someone who is really trying to practice it, make sure you come up with this layout and produce this. So this is the part number 1 that you can produce, and I will show you how the requirements are changing over a period of time, and based on that, how you can produce the analysis which is much more impactful and as per the new business requirement. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, you have found it useful, meaningful, and some good practice for yourself. So enjoy this and make sure you practice more and more, and tell me what other analysis that you will produce if you are a restaurant owner and you are trying to open a restaurant which is North and South Indian. Which type of a restaurant you will open? Will you open where you are having dining, where you will open where you have online orders only or offline orders only. So that way we will basically have more and more ideas about the different angles from which we have to do the analysis. With that, thank you so much, and I'll meet you in the new video with a new topic.